Good day, my name is Mike. I'm here with Empire Trucking School located in the city of Ontario, California. Today we're going to be doing our air brakes in a CDL Class B vehicle. So to begin, once we start inside the cab, you're either going to have that key in your pocket or in the ignition. And we start like this. So with the introduction, good day, good morning, my name is Mike. I'm here to do my air brakes test for my Class B vehicle. Starting off, this is my seatbelt. It is properly secured inside the vehicle. It's not worn, torn, or frayed. My seatbelt clicks and unclicks freely. I'll be leaving it on for the remainder of my test. For the sake of video, I'm going to put my arm over. Next, we're going to explain our gauges. So we have two gauges. The top one's my primary, bottom is my secondary. All of my readings will be based off my top primary gauge only. My increments go by 15, starting with 0, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120, 135, and 150. Before I continue with my safe start, I'm going to go ahead and chock my wheels for safety. So to do that, I'm going to release the seatbelt, take the key with me for safety, and I'm going to go ahead and move the chocks over towards my footwell. Makes it a lot easier when I'm getting out the vehicle. So when you get out, you want to make sure you do 3 points of contacts at all times, and I'll meet you outside for the chocking. So when exiting the vehicle, you want to make sure you never take a forward step. This is dangerous and it is a fail at DMV. So rather than that, we're going to go ahead and initiate the exit, turning our body around, 3-point contacts at all times. From here, we're going to go ahead and grab the chocks, and we want to make sure that we close the door behind us for safety. When it comes to chocking the wheels, you want to place one in front of your rear tractor wheel and the other one right behind. Now, when doing so, we want to leave a small gap on the outside in case your vehicle rolls. You do not want to kick it with your toes. Use either the back of your heel or whatever chock is free. We're going to use that to loosen the one that happened to get stuck. So for now, we have one in the front, one to the rear. We're going to head back in, always using 3 points of contact. And once we're in, we're going to go ahead and continue our air brakes. All right, once we get back inside, first things first, we're going to grab the seatbelt, go ahead and put it back on. Okay, now once again, for the sake of the video, I'm going to wrap my arm over. From this point, we're going to grab the key, put in the ignition. So now we're going to perform a safe start. In order to do that, I'm going to start with my electricals first. When you take a look at the dash, your dash is going to light up. You want to acknowledge your ABS light. So my ABS light has turned on, my ABS light has turned off, and my dash is clear. For the safe start, my vehicle is in neutral, my brake is out, and we're going to go ahead and turn it on. So now the next step is to build maximum air pressure. For this, my governor cutoff is between 120 psi and 140 psi. In order to reach my cutoff quickly, I'm going to hold the accelerator down anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 RPM. This will allow your compressors to fill the air a little bit quicker. Now, mind you, when you're at DMV and you're doing your air brakes test, there are going to be other vehicles to the right, left, forward, and back that may also be doing air brakes. So we know that after 120, we're listening out for that cutoff. The next major key, you want to make sure that your primary needle completely stops moving before we give out that reading. So now that my needle is reaching 120, I'm going to start listening out for that cutoff sound. Again, my cutoff is between 120 to 140 psi. There it is, and release the accelerator. So my needle has settled at 130 psi. This was a good test because my max pressure cutoff is between 120 to 140 psi. Now my next test is going to be my applied air leakage test. In a Class B vehicle, I cannot lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute. So in order to do that, I'm going to turn off my truck, turn my accessories back on, and to do my applied air leakage test, what we're going to do is push in our top tractor brake or parking brake, followed by pressing and holding the service brake. We'll do that in a 1-2 count. So 1 and 2. As you push your foot all the way down on the service brake, we're now going to wait for that needle to settle. If you have a stopwatch, please set it to 0. Use your phone or any other device capable. So at this point, my primary needle has settled at 105 psi. I will start my timer for 1 minute and give you readings every 30 seconds. So for the sake of time, we're going to say it's been 30 seconds. My needle is still at 105 psi. I've lost 0. Again, for the sake of time, it's now been 1 minute. My primary gauge needle is still at 105. I've lost 0 psi, which means this is a good test because I did not lose more than 3 psi in my Class B vehicle. Once you're done, go ahead and release the brake. And now we're going to move on to our second test, known as our low air warning light and buzzer test. For this test, I must fan my brakes until my low air warning light and buzzer come on. That should happen no lower than 55 psi. I'll go ahead and start fanning the brakes in a 1-2 count. Now, as you do this, the moment you hear that buzzer and see the light, we want to go ahead and give our call out where the needle was during that time. There it is. I now hear the warning buzzer and see my red light. My needle was at 65 psi when it turned on. This is a good test because it happened no less than 55 psi. My next test is known as my spring pop-out test, where my parking or tractor brake spring will pop out between 20 and 45 psi. To do this, once again, we're going to go ahead and fan that service brake until your spring pops out. Now, when doing this, you want to make sure you constantly keep pushing that pedal in. Do not stop that momentum. Our goal is to have our springs pop out. And there it was. Our tractor brake or parking brake has popped out at 27 psi. This was a good test because my spring pop out happens between 20 and 45 psi. The following test is known as a tug test. For that, we are going to tug and test our tractor or parking brake, followed by testing our service brake. But before we do that, you must turn the vehicle off, make sure you're still in neutral, your brake is applied. We must exit the vehicle and remove the chocks. So I'll go ahead and meet you outside for that. And once again, when exiting the vehicle, please make sure that we take that key with us for safety. I'll be putting the key into my front pocket. And as we know, when we exit, we want to make sure we turn around, stepping backwards at all times, 3 points of contact, closing that door behind us. So from this point, we're going to go ahead and grab the chocks. If one happened to get stuck, remember not to kick it with your toes. Please use a secondary chock or use your heel. When entering the vehicle, what I like to do at this point with the chocks is I want to push them towards the center, up and away from my footwell, making it easier to get inside the vehicle. 3 points of contact going back in. And let's continue with the rest of the test. Once inside again, we're going to go ahead and grab our seatbelt before we continue. At this point, seatbelt is on. For the video, I will wrap my arm over. Now we're going to go ahead and grab the key, put it into the ignition. We will be performing a safe start for the second time and building maximum pressure again for the second time. To do that, electricals first. My ABS light has come on. I'm going to wait for my dash to clear. My ABS light has now turned off. My dash is clear. Vehicle's in neutral. My brakes applied. And once we have the vehicle on, we're going to build maximum pressure for the second time. Once again, the cutoff is between 120 to 140 psi. Or you may say it is no more than 140 and no less than 120. Again, we're going to hold down the accelerator anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 RPM to speed up the process. And then I will meet you when the cutoff is coming near. All right, and as we build our maximum air pressure now, some schools or different conductors, during this point, some of them choose to do an in-cab inspection as they're waiting for their needle to settle. Usually here at Empire Trucking School, we do our air brakes followed by the in-cab inspection. So any moment now, we are going to hear that governor cutoff. And there it is. Releasing the accelerator, my primary gauge needle has settled at 130 psi. This was a good test because my max air pressure governor cutoff happens between 120 to 140. So moving on, the next test that we're going to do is known as a tug test. For this test, I will be tracking the parking brake or tractor brake on my vehicle. To do that, I will leave my tractor brake pulled out. I'm going to go ahead and put my vehicle into drive. Now, depending on your vehicle, just releasing the brake could be good enough. For us, we're going to gently step on the gas. That was it. Back to neutral. The brake is still applied. This was a good test because my parking brake or tractor brake held. Next, we're going to be testing the service brake. To test my service brake, I must push in or release my parking/tractor brake, put my vehicle into drive. As I drive forward no more than 5 miles an hour, I'm going to place my hands palms open under the wheel. When I step on that service brake, my steering wheel should not move to the left or right, letting me know it's a good test. We're going to go ahead and do that now. Stepping on the brake, I will release my tractor brake, put my vehicle in drive, palms open on the bottom of my steering wheel, and you're going to gently move forward just a few feet. There it is. Stepping on the brake, my vehicle held. Neutral, brake out. This was a good test because my service brake held and my steering wheel didn't pull to the left or right, letting me know that this air brake test was a good success. Now at this point, this concludes my Class B air brakes test. I will continue and move on to my in-cab inspection. So from here, we like to start off with our fire extinguisher. To the left, under my seat, I have my fire extinguisher. It is properly secured and mounted inside my vehicle. It is rated 10BC, arrow charged in green with the safety pin in, and it is up to date. My fire extinguisher is in good condition. Next, I have my 2 side mirrors or traffic monitoring devices. They are both properly mounted and secured to the side of the cab. All my bolts are present. They are not broken, cracked, or damaged, no signs of illegal stickers, and they are clean and clear. They consist of 2 flat mirrors, 2 convex mirrors, along with 1 convex mirror in our vehicle towards the front right. All of my mirrors are properly adjusted to me, and I can clearly see out of all 3. All of my mirrors are in good condition. Next, we're going to move on to our front windshield and our back windshield. They are both clean and clear, not broken, cracked, or damaged. There are no signs of illegal stickers, and they both have the rubber seal that is not worn, torn, or frayed. My front windshield and back windshield are both in good condition. To the front, we're going to have our 2 windshield wipers. They are properly secured and mounted, not broken, cracked, or damaged. My wiper blades are also not worn, torn, or frayed. Over here to the left of my steering wheel, I will press in, and as we can see, my fluid and my lever are both in good condition. From here, I'm going to move on to my lights and signals, starting with my left turn signal, turns on and off. Right turn signal turns on and off. Towards the center here, my 4-way flashers turn on and off. And to the left by my knee, both my clearance lights and low beams turn on and off. I also have my high beams that turn on and off. All of my signals and lights are in good condition. Right in front of me, I have my city horn and I have my air horn. Both are in good working condition. To the center, I'm going to move on to my AC and heater. For DMV, I will move them all to cold, turn the AC on. My AC is working and blowing cold air. My heater is working and blowing hot air. Next, I have my defroster that is also working and blowing hot air. My AC and heater are both in good working condition. Over to the right on my passenger side, I have my electrical fuse box or fuse compartment. Inside, we have extra fuses and relays in case we need them for an emergency. There are no exposed wires or illegal black tape. My electrical fuse box is in good condition. Underneath my passenger seat, we have our 3 amber colored safety triangles. They have the appropriate red and white DOT tape. Some will have red reflectors. They are not broken, cracked, or damaged, and they stand freely on their own. My 3 amber colored triangles are in good condition. From this point, we're going to look around, make sure there's not an item that we missed. Now, if you have not done your pre-trip inspection outside, Here's where we tell our examiner, this concludes my air brakes and in-cab inspection. Before I continue with my pre-trip outside, sir or ma'am, would you mind stepping out and helping me check that my lights are all working properly? At this point, your examiner will stand in front of the vehicle. They will point at the headlights, we turn them on, flash the high beams. They will signal to the right for your right signal, left turn signal. At this point, they will walk towards the rear of your vehicle. They will signal once again to the right, to the left. They will tell you to displace your four-way flashers or hazard lights, and then they will give you the signal for brake. Once that is completed, you will let them know, thank you for checking. This concludes the in-cab, and I will now continue with my pre-trip outside. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next video.